This is day 1078 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. You know, it sounds our coming shir, more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. It's not made directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Yoredea, Siman Tzadik Hey, Sif Chaf Hey, Tzadik Vav, Sif Zayin. Chaf Hey. Mutar Laniach Kli Sheish Bo Chalav, Eitzel Kli Sheish Bo Basar. You're allowed to put a vessel which has milk in it next to a vessel which has meat in it. B'tok Teva Achas in one box. L'chashen Shein Pomi Zem Rakat Soin Mat with the same way it fell from this one to that one. V'lo Yedai won't know if you ever l'cholom kach you come to eat in that way. Sheinesh Basar Basar B'chalav Hey Mamish Bein, because the meat and milk are obviously they're clear and obvious. And also everybody knows that they answer each other. People are very careful. You're allowed to put a vessel of milk next to a vessel of vinegar, which you might eventually come to use with meat. Even if a little bit of milk falls into the vinegar, his arvi will become well mixed. His battle will become nullified. Kodem shitem min chometz el tochabar, so before you put the vinegar into the meat. Some people are machmir, preferentially, when they're both open. It's good to be careful about this. I will also but you can't use leave a basket which has kutach, the yogurty milk dish. It's a klishesh bo melach by next to a vessel which is holding salt. They didn't have salt shakers back then. They had what used to be called salt cellars. So it's an open vessel. They're not careful to avoid stuff falling from one to the other. Because they don't answer with each other. They both are white. We have to be concerned that maybe a piece of the kutach will fall to the soft they won't be paying attention, won't realize it. Kutach be'ein, and the kutach is something which, if you look closely, it's obvious. It's not nullified into the salt. And then end up putting the salt into a fleshik pot, or use it to salt meat. Nevertheless, if you did put one next to the other, you shouldn't have. But if you did, mutter, it's mutter. Why is it mutter? Because you don't assume an isser where there is no reason to assume an isser. Mutter litain hamelech al tav shel basar, so therefore you can use the salt in a fleshik dish, linoch ba basar, and salt meat with it. But Rambam Periktas as far as shatam mishum the melch shoy vatam me'akutach ayin sham. Rambam says that it's not because of the substance of the kutach, but because salt draws the taste of the kutach. Tim elei magmara. Not sure he tells us this, but these halachos in the Gemara, then this you extrapolate to other cases. Okay, if you have salt which is in a fleshik dish, according to the letter of law, you're allowed to put in milk. Salt does not cause the vessel in which it is placed to either emit or to absorb. But there's not a case of naparnat. The salt is sharp. The aim was no charif din de naparnat. By charif there is no halacha naparnat. Nevertheless, it's preferable not to use salt, which is in a fleshik keli, with milk. Vice versa. Everybody has separate salt shakers, or again back then it was salt cellars. Not sure with salt shakers the people are so machmir as they were with salt cellars. For meat by itself and milk by itself, somebody does this, may he be blessed. The halacha of sharp substances, the mashim em neyoma kivnei yoman, and they cause things which are not bnei yoman, more than 24 hours old, to revert to the status of bnei yoman. Aleph, Armin Begmar, the radish you should cut with a knife, with which you cut meat. Also, you can't eat that radish with kutach. It's not like fish, which were in a fleshik plate. the mutter l'chol mekuta you have to eat them with milk. Kamash chav sim tzarich hay. Tava not barnat. That's an issue of not barnat. The sakim pamim shashum, but here it's not the same. The sakim pamim shashum lunis korosh alpana meir nikar. The knife, sometimes it has a fatty deposit on its surface, which is not recognized. When you cut the radish, have a nice and time mamish. It's giving a taste which comes from substance, not just from an absorption. Furthermore, because of the sharpness of the radish, it absorbs more than hot fish. And because of the pressure of the knife, the knife will emit taste from inside the knife. It's known, and the radish will absorb it. There's a difference between the two reasons. The tamsham is a karush upon according to the reason that the fat is congealed on its face. Also, then that's it's also even if the knife has not been used within the last 24 hours. It's not considered to give it off taste. There's no absorbed taste of tambain. There is the taste of something which is, so to speak, explicit. Tamasheni, according to the second reason, because the account of it's being sharp, it absorbs, and it's ben yomo. This does not apply unless it's within 24 hours that was used for the previous usage. He says, right, snow no silka, radish, or I think it's leek. You cut them with a meat knife, which has been used in the past 24 hours for meat, or it's not well wiped. Also, now to eat the stuff you cut up with milk until you take from the place where you cut, which is a finger width. Or if you taste it, label tam boss, it doesn't have taste of meat. Then it's okay, even if you just rinse it. It's also the language of the Rambam. The Mari Ben Yomo, he assumes that Davar Charif only is only in effect, only impacts, only affects something which is Ben Yomo. Is only affected by. It says the knife with which you cut roast meat. And then you cut with it radish or something similar from sharp stuff. Also, to eat them with mekutach. Sounds quite explicitly. Sounds quite explicitly. The miyash chata about basar tzli immediately after you cut the roast meat, which is hot. Snow, and then you eat a radish. You cut a radish afterwards. Also, then that radish is also to eat. And now to eat it with milk. And language of Shas, we can infer this. It says a radish which is cut with a knife, which is used to cut meat. Interesting deal Arukh HaShulchan makes. It says use it's a knife with which you cut meat, and not a fleshik knife. You could just have fleshik knife. Why does it say shechatach babasar? It must be, that means that the cutting of the meat was recent, as opposed to when it's more than 24 hours ago. Also, if you let it ben yomo, Ram did not have to specify that if there's fat congealed on the blade, it's also, even if it's not ben yomo, it's no pasha. That's obvious. It's a bar doesn't mean explain. You can move any show. You can't ask. Because I was so bad in my meeting, the Davar Charif ain't look ben yomo. We said by Davar Charif, there's no difference between within 24 hours after past 24 hours. The Minon Sham, it says that the courage shall chitis. Shall akum also bachila. If you have a crystal of chiltis, which I forget what it is, but it's a sharp food. Of a non-Jew, it's also to eat. My time or why mission the mavskel was sakina because it cut it with a knife. But I've got less time to gambut. So even though give us something which has an off taste is mutter, but it's not kelim and we assume that most kelim are not haven't used in the past 24 hours. The chalsisa, but because of the sharpness of the chilsis, it sweetens the fattiness which is inside the knife. It's a good taste, and it's also. So So it's explicit that davar charev does make something which is ben yomo into ben yomo. Because Rishonim say this is a lo b'chol davar charev. That's not by every sharp thing. Rak b'chiltis shu charev mode, only chiltis which is very sharp. They know it's the taste of the Rosh, the name of the Maran Bruderberg. They know machol adam klau. It's not animal food. It's not human food at all. Like the prakim machol. Just sometimes we put a little bit inside the food. V'recho ra. It's got a bad smell. Because the food is primarily for medicinal purposes. Shosam poshrim is the people soak in warm water. The shosam that food they drink the water for healing purposes. Yesh b'chamim usharbe. It has great heat. It's not like radishes and other sharp foods. The only their charifus only helps to remove the taste which is absorbed in the vessel or the food. But not to make something which is not ben yomo into ben yomo. Zeldas Chamay Rabbi saying that's the opinion of several of our rabbis. Okay, so I looked up what chiltis is. It is Ferula asafoetida. The plant is related to common fennel and carrots. The specific species that is assumed to be chiltis is called Ferula asafoetida, but it is not the plant itself is consumed, rather latex or gum that exudes from the rhizome or taproot of the plant. This gum, called asafoetida, has quite a fetid smell, hence the name. This is skipping down a bit. Spice used as a digestive aid in food as a condiment and pickling. It typically works as a flavor enhancer, used along with turmeric as a standard component of Indian cuisine. Okay, but evidently there is it's very rare that it's used for machal adam in our environments. Ikaro who before it's mainly before the showing something which is we just did the whole thing. Okay, Dalit. On the Mishnah says chiltis chol dvar macharivim dein echolahem. Some people say the chiltis and all of the dvar macharivim have the same halal status. Mashin and they make enim neyomans into neyomans. Zesh kasar bebe says sham the yeshua do adin later ben yoman v'u mekunach. That it's possible this is true. We do cut with a knife which is not ben yomo, which is cleaned, which is been wiped. Because its sharpness sweetens. Sweetens here doesn't mean literally sweet. It means makes it taste good. Also saying ben yomo to make something which is not ben yomo, is it's ben yomo. Zel das bal sefer had truma, which goes about tour. Most of the poskim of the Achronim paskin like this opinion that all davar charev can make eno ben yomo to ben yomo. Not just the Achronim, can be meir rishonim, but Yomori came. Even as Rishonim, they were paskin this way. Like the Rosh, it's in its of heter there Rishonim. You can't use the heter of the first opinion, just the Rambam. Rak b'makom adchak you're under pressure and there's a great loss. And remember, Arukh HaShulchan said hefsed gadol is more than hefsed merubah. He brings the brackets Taisus chulin stop goes out and show the Yermas lagav Taisus not sure. The Me'ar Shalom Tzasi by Rambam din kar shilchitis. On the other hand, says Arukh HaShulchan, I'm astounded that the Rambam doesn't bring down the halacha of kar shilchitis and that it can make something eno ben yoma to ben yoma. Hey, b'mei oseh davar charev. What does the davar charev Aser? Just not checking where I have to go up today. Sorry. Okay. So again, hey, Bamei Oser Davar Charev. Vice versa, also contain Natila. Aser is contained Natila. She will go the Aser, which is the thickness of his finger. Even though when you cut with a milking knife, Shane Ben Yom, which has not been used the past 24 hours, it's enough to peel. Shamu there it's talking about hot meat. Why would the sharpness be a more of a reason to be more machmir than something which is hot? Yeshua, we could say the whole came with Ben Yomo Maflit Yoser. Since it's Ben Yomo, Okay, it gives us more taste. And even that would be according to the Rambam, but even according to those who are machmir, which the Arukh HaShulchan is inclined to pass like, because the sharpness sweetens the it comes like a ben yomo. It's a separate characteristic than the heat. Not sure. But the shum, I don't know exactly if that it seems like an axiom. It doesn't seem like it's explained. But anyway, the better explanation. The sham lesser abosar to answer the meat type klipa. It's enough to peel. Shinkancha enanu stream that's known. So if we're not asking something, we ask as little as possible. That's a good klipa. But if we're not asking for you anyway, right? You can eat this radish. You just have to eat with fleshik, right? So kancha enanu stream that's known. El shlechem v'chab just can't eat with milk. Echmanim until smokum. We said it would be more machmir. Take off at the kedei tila. Indeed, there are some poskim here only also require only here peeling. So that's a tush because of Tom. You have to peel the place where it's called Ayin Sham. Nevertheless, that's a Ravid, Varabim, Poskim, Skimolo, Peter Ravid, and many poskim will agree with him. Also, since the shas just says generically, it's also to eat it with the mukutach. You have a rakadei klipa where it's just a klipa lo shas stam also. Shas and I have said without any explanation that's also. Then time lashon because of Rashba Zal shekulu also. On the count of this lashon, the Rashba says it's the entire piece is also the entire radish. But because like two writes in his name. Baby Rayel Varam brings evidence for his position that he becomes chiltis with the crystal of the chiltis asrin kula. We ask the entire thing. Baby Rayel Varam. I'm sorry. I went back a line. But that's not proof. The crystals are small. You can't know where you cut it. That's the whole thing. But here peeling would be enough. Open tila or removing the finger breath. The bottom line is primary halacha is not like the kulo klipa, not like chumra of kulo, but kedei netila. The Keni Chriya was said by Shulchan Aruch. That has how the author of Shulchan Aruch determined to be the halacha. But it's preferable to take into account the opinion that it's completely asur, as we shall see. There's no difference when it's charif between whether you're dealing with the actual isser or whether you're dealing for a basar meat to milk or milk to meat. Vav doesn't mutter if you taste it. It does not taste the meat. It's mutter just with rinsing. Even though we'll find that we don't rely on tasting, that is at least the Ashkenazim. That could be the taste of an anju. But here, if a Jew tastes it, we trust the Jew. The Akroy, the Taz, and the Shach right now, we don't rely on tasting at all. That's preferential. However, the Evid, that's after the fact, Shatamu, if you did taste it, they does that the taste of meat, and they cook milk, mutter it's mismo. The Dai, you should know the silka who trod in. Silka is trodim, which I think it translates beets. Benedum means that, but we don't know. I guess it's not regular beets. Tered in modern Hebrew spinach, but that's how it means in the modern Hebrew. It says Benedum means that Medina Seinu. The silka, I think actually I said was leek before. I think that's correct. It's leek. Sounds like it's sharp like radish. Leek is from the onion family. Could be that it's talking about scallions also. And there's some say it's not at all sharp, but it has some gravitational pull for the whatever to bring stuff in. We have a new halacha. We have some sort of food which has this drawing power. Here's the din davar charib. It would have a status of davar charif even though it's not sharp. Zayin, you cut the radish with a fleshig knife, and you didn't take off afterwards Tila. Gamatami didn't taste it. You cook it with milk. So you need 60, responding to whatever place you should have taken off. If you don't know how to reckon it, how much the teal would be, you shar shishim knega by sakin bohem. Should there be sakin noga? You should consider the teal 60 times whatever the surface area where the knife touched would be. If you don't know for sure where it touched, so you assume that it was the entire knife. So Shisha can call Saki about a kata and eat 60 cards wine. It's an entire blade besides the handle. The kata that's on if you took out the radish very finely, so Shisha can needs 60 cards wine to all the radish. Each one of the pieces is asking the that's when the entire radish is less than the size of the knife. You look, if not, it's have to have 60 corresponding to the knife. More than the drawing of the knife. To the place the knife reaches, there is no taste of meat. Actually, I translate it right, but you can't, I guess, it only gives off tables of meat corresponding to the blade. That's the max you need to be in Bobato. Okay, stop here.